TruckDriver101.com answering questions on YouTube. Today on the 19th, October. 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 Ugh. Almost the end of the year. Who knew it was going to happen? It only happens every year. Okay, so which companies pay for your training and if you don't have money? Eric Nielsen. Eric, everybody pays for your training because you get reimbursed if you pay out your pocket, and if you have to take a loan, you still get reimbursed. If you go to Warner has a school, Schneider has a no. Can I pull that back on Schneider? Not sure if Schneider has a school. I believe they do. CR England has a school. Here's the strategy I would do. Go to anybody for school. Don't even worry about it. They're gonna give you a contract. Go to the cheap, long school. All right. So you want to go $4,000 to $6,000, and you want the contract to say that if you decide to leave after the training and you don't stay with the company for the contract period. Here's the thing. Let me explain that. When you go to a company and you say, I'm going to your school, they're going to say, great, we're here for you. Here's the rules. We're going to give you this training. It's going to cost this amount of money. And if you work for us for 2 years, it's free. Or it might be a year. But if you don't work for us during that time, here's this penalty that's going to happen. And here's this other penalty. And that some of them might put on you. Some of them I've heard put an extra $2,000 on it. It didn't make you pay it. Go to a company that pays you reasonably. Not that pays you reasonably. That has the least punishments if you leave the company and you decide to go somewhere else. And then go to training anywhere. Warner, well, it doesn't matter as long as their cost of school is not above $6,000, and you turn around and you don't have a bunch of penalties and gotchas. That way, when you finish training, let's say you finish training with a Warner school, you go work for Warner, and you say, you know what, I don't like Warner. I don't want to be here. I'd rather go to Joe Blow down the street. After I get done with my over-the-road training, I'm going to Joe Blow down the street. And so you go to Joe Blow. Well, Warner said you only owe them $5,000. Well, Joe Blow Trucking does reimbursement, so they might pay for that. You got to also check that. See if companies that do reimbursement will pay for the school that you actually went to. And it won't really matter because your payment is only going to be like $100 or so, and you should make that. I mean, you should be, pretty reasonable after a short amount of time in truck. I mean, it takes you 2 years to get to the point where you can make the 60, 70,000 in car hauling or some specialized industry, So, all you got to do is just start, man. Don't even worry about which companies do it. Warner, CR England, there's a lot of them, dude. Just Google it. Just Google which companies. I mean, but the key thing is make sure they're not costing you a lot of money, and that you always have the option to leave, and that it's not a lot of gotchas. I have heard some schools that are really putting big gotchas in them because it's ridiculous that if you stay, it's 5,000, but if you go, it's 7. That's silly. That's just silly. But anyway, Eric Nielsen, hope that helps you. Email me again if you need more specifics. But man, just Google. There are tons of companies out there, and tons of schools out there. I actually don't recommend CR England, but if you go to CR England, no big deal, by the way. Their training is fine. It's just that they try to put you in a lease purchase program when you're actually a rookie, and that's just not a good thing. Don't do that. All right, truckdriver101.com. Go anywhere. Just make sure the gotchas aren't in the lease contract. I mean, not the lease contract, but the school contract. And you might have to work 2 years for that company. Make sure it's a company you want to work for. But if not, always make sure you got the option to leave. All right. Hope that helps you, buddy. Truckdriver101.com. Truckdriver101.com. Answering questions today. I've tried this question several times, so let's start out with the question step by step. You asked me the difference with Joseph. Commented, and he wanted to know which is a better company, Swift or Schneider. I'm going to go with Schneider. Schneider has more options. It's going to give you a better picture of the entire industry. Swift is mostly a dry box company. They don't do much. Um, yeah, they got Costco runs, but I wouldn't worry about that. Schneider has so many options, and there's way more companies out there than Costco. I mean, that's just a company, and I love Costco, but it's just a company, dude. That's just one. You know, Schneider is going to open your eyes to all the amazing companies that are out there, and believe me, go to Schneider. Schneider will open your eyes and give you so much more knowledge. You can get a local job that may not, it won't be union, but you can get a local job at Schneider. Go to Rice Cake for the Win, and he's working a local job hauling intermodal. So it's pretty good. He's getting home every night. It's not union, but still pays pretty good, and it pays. You're asking me about whether it gets you 40 G's. Yeah, most trucking companies after about a year they're going to get you to 40 G's, and after a year, all the options will be out there, and you can get to 40,000. What's good money in trucking? Well, good money is based on what you need. Right? Do you need $60,000, $70,000? Well, I would suggest going to car hauling. If you live in Michigan, car hauling takedown. I tell you a good place to go just so you can see this. Don't go asking no questions. He'll think you a terrorist or somebody. But if you want to understand what I'm talking about when I talk about car hauling and the money you can make and how big it is, drive down Michigan Avenue over in Romulus. It's around that Michigan Avenue area there, off 275. There's a Ford plant there. On the other side, it's car haulers. Car haulers, massive, massive. You got Casson, you got Jack Cooper. I mean, and they're making money all day long. I mean, Jack Cooper pays $1.40, and Casson Transportation, I want to say, pays about $1.25. No, I think they pay $1.10, but they pay you 94 cents for deadhead. What deadhead is when you're empty. You don't have any cars in your racks. And those guys are making great money. They're making way above 40,000 a year, some of them, especially. But you got to work your way in through the Teamsters. Anytime you go to a union company, you got to remember you got to work your way in to get past the experience. Because when you start out as a car hauler, or even at this job you're talking about, you don't get the run that nobody wants to do. As a car hauler, that's the type of run where you got to do a lot of stops. You might get a truckload of cars, and then you got to make 15 stops. Right? But then again, for those 15 stops, you might be pulling. I talked to a friend of mine. He works there. I used to work with him at Falcon. He's making $1,500 a week after taxes. Now, because he's starting out though, and he has no experience, his job is a pain in the ass. But he's making great money, right? But he needs that though. He's got 5 kids. If you ain't got no kids and you don't need to be out here, understand, trucking is always about hard work. So the more money they give you, the more hard work you're going to do. Now, if you want to work hard and you need that kind of money, then go ahead. But if you don't need that kind of money, you're a young cat, go into auto part hauling or go into border crossing. You live in Michigan, man. Use what's in Michigan. Like we got the Canadian border. It's good money to go across that damn border all the time. If you go to school and you're pretty good at driving, go to a part hauler like Falcon. They ain't the best company in the universe, but you don't need the best company in the universe to get your experience and get a good start, But then again, if you go to Schneider, you're gonna end up with a better picture of the industry. But I'm telling you, consider part haulers, consider everybody. Broaden out your mind more than just Swift and Schneider. There's a whole lot of companies in Michigan besides Swift and Schneider. But the thing I love about Falcon and other part hauler companies, auto part hauling is what I'm talking about. They're off every holiday. So that means when you're a rookie and you're starting out right now, you don't have to make that BS sacrifice where you can't get home for Christmas. They're going to be off because the auto industry is going to, be off, right? Now, that's the reality. That's the beauty of part hauling. That's why I love it so much. But, that's my recommendation for you. If you're thinking of Schneider and Swift, broaden your mind, look at some other companies. Schneider's going to give you a picture of most of the trucking companies out there. It's going to give you a picture of most of the different, because they have so many branches. They got tanker, they got intermodal, they got some dedicated accounts. Massive, picture. You just, Swift for the most part is a dry van. It's just that's it. It's a box. They ain't doing much. There's no frills there. As far as Teamsters, you were talking about doing some local stuff. I wouldn't do local right now. I'd start out and get over the road. That way the experience won't block you from getting jobs later down the road. And what's good money is based on what you're willing to do. Like I said, if you want to make the big money in trucking, go into car hauling. That's going to get you fastest to the most money. And there are some car haulers out there that do hire rookies. You just got to do some research. Check out United Road, and that'll get you to that 50, 60, $70,000 a year. But it's going to take time to get it. It might take you 5 years to get to 70, but you can probably get to 40 pretty quick. So anyway, that's it. Hope that helps you. Truckdriver101.com.